Hi. Let's do a little drill to see the difference between mobility, how much you can control the range of motion within a joint, and flexibility, which just says how far you can take a joint. The way I said that sounds like I was talking about how far you can take a joint, and what I really mean is by how far you can extend a joint until it's at its very end range. So let's give this a little look-see. Lay down on your side waist. Elbow comes at a comfortable place under your shoulder or outside the line of your shoulder, just depending on the length of your bones. And then extend your legs out and stack everything up. So if you have two of them, stack them, ankles, knees, hips. I guess you have, two hip points. And then from there, now trust me on this, I am a professional. Go ahead and slouch. And then let's build this up from the ground up. So feel this long arm bone, this humerus, and imagine you can pull it up into your shoulder until you feel this whole shoulder girdle start to help you out. And then let the lift continue from there until your rib cage starts to come up, and you could almost feel like your hips could even elevate here. Ooh, it's some work. And then let that lengthening feeling go all the way out to your leg until it has nowhere to go but up. So this is the mobility part where I have to be able to control this range of motion. Now what happens if I turn it into flexibility? Collapse in and then bring my leg back. So the ability to do this, my ability to do this came largely from being born. This is just genetic. I have no special thing that got me to this, and I'm really only even at 70% or so of my range because I don't want to tax my joints right now at their end ranges of motion. What happens though when we turn this back from a flexibility exercise where I could even put my leg behind my head and back into a mobility exercise? There's probably a little bend you can see in my knee here from me just not even really having to work with this leg. Let's see what happens. So let's build it back up from the ground up. So come back to this feeling of your arm bone in your socket and then start to pull that up almost like it's hugging in, and then let that feeling start to come into your rib cage as you keep that leg extended. And I think you can probably see now that I've really had to activate my leg, my TFL and my different hip flexors. My quad is really working to keep that leg extended out. All kinds of joints here are co-contracting, and oh my goodness, you can start to see hopefully my legs shaking and starting to fatigue. You can end it in a different way. Let's give it a shot and see what the other side is like. If your two sides are different, good news, you're human. You don't need to be symmetrical. So once again, come onto your side waist with your elbow in a comfortable position under or outside the line of your shoulder and extend your legs out. And then maybe even consider bringing your hip point a little bit further up. From here, collapse in, like it's kind of like Netflix watching pose. And then from here, start to build that back up. So pull that arm bone, feel it hug into the socket as your whole shoulder starts to wrap around it. And let your rib cage lift along with the line as though your head could grow longer. And then keep that sense of lift until that leg has nowhere to go but up. And then ready? Collapse back in and see where the flexibility is here. So I'm going to guess again that I have got a good bend in my knee. Just because my leg is really passive right now. There's not a whole lot working to make this happen. And again, this is DNA. If you want my DNA, you have to deal with all my mom feelings, and oh my God, you don't want that. You might even have your own, just stick with yours. So from here, let's see what happens if we build that back up. So start to pull your arm bone back in your socket. Let your rib cage lift up. I can't even talk right now. This is so much work. And then from here, can you feel that leg extending out with the support? So this is mobility, yeah? I cannot go any further keeping this control. Okay, I ran out of words because that was really hard. But that's a good indicator of the difference between flexibility and mobility. Give it a try. See how it works in your perfect body. Even if you feel like your body's not perfect, I promise you it is. How does it work for the body that you're in today? Leave a comment, challenge me, talk with each other, share your experiences, and let's try some other stuff soon. Mwah.